Zada as well. I mean, she's playing as a little kid, doing that well. She also played in a blitz tournament in Andujar, and she was able to beat a couple of big names as well. Finished 6.5 out of 9 against big oppositions, rated 24-55. David Nieto and a 25-33 Nikita Meshkus. And that is what happened with her K factor. Alice has jumped and surged now because of her recent results as well. She played in the American Cup Blitz right before this tournament and did quite well. She had a draw against Max Ramadan. She beat our very own Irene Kandar, Rose Atwell as well. And this name, I'm not sure exactly what it is, Titus Shumavicius. You guys can correct me on that one. And so, and her 2 wins against Alice as well, as they played here, that's given her a tremendous surge in points. And that is why those 2 women now stand atop the U.S. ratings list for women.
Thank you, Maurice. But wait a minute, we got through the Blitz. We know about the Classical, but what about the Rapids? Who's the #1 women's player in the United States in Rapids?
Do you want me to say it? I have to say it out
loud? None other than our
a picture says
Did you know
1,000 words.
I knew I was in top 3. I wasn't sure that I was top 1.
How did you do it? What's your secret?
Well, Rapid is my favorite time control.
Really?
Because it's the perfect combination of, you don't need too much opening prep, but it's also not blitz and totally random. So I just do really well. In Rapid, and this is my way of saying we need more Rapid.
You heard it here first, folks. We need more Rapid, more
Yes.
opportunities for Rapid. In fact, that's actually, I think, a bit of a problem is in the Grand Chess Tour. We have the Rapid and Blitz. We have the Kieran's Cup for ladies, but we don't have the Rapid and Blitz opportunities. And
I'm waiting
you're
for the day
petitioning
that
for
we
more
do. Yes.
for more Rapids. Okay, well then you won't be able to do commentary, and the whole world will
It would just be
stop.
1 or 2 tournaments. Yes.
Okay, but more Rapids. Very good. I'm turning to Alice Lee and Carissa. Not much has taken place. In fact, both
Only
ladies
one
have
move.
really slowed down considerably. Last move, not Bishop E2, Queen E2, and I don't like that move. I just don't. It doesn't jibe with the position
Well,
very
she's
well.
doing the same thing as Bishop E2 was doing in one sense, that protecting the knight on F3, but maybe she's not planning on playing C4. That's why she didn't think it was necessary to drop down the bishop.
Right.
Instead of the
Okay.
queen.
So Queen E7, developing, connecting the rooks, always a very
She
good
wants to play
idea.
C3 and have this setup where the bishop comes back to B1, H7 diagonal from there.
I was about to say, I don't know if Queen B4 is necessarily a threat. I am pawn hunting, right?
Or she can play C3
But-
and then A5, provoking B5 to get the C5 square possibly.
Well, let's give it a look-see. I want to play for the move C5, but I don't want to face the consequences of a bishop
Let's play
D6.
A5 here for white.
Okay, and I'm a pawn grubber, but there are times
There's some
when
pawns even you won't touch.
yeah, exactly. I do have my limitations. B5, and like a Sicilian, the consequences of a bishop
Let's play
D6.
A5 here for white.
I am seeking, once again, to play. The move C. You have to move your. Where do you want to move your?
E2.
E2. Okay. So long as you're retreating, I'm happy. Unless I'm
still
blundering.
E5.
Unless I'm blundering. But you know what I'm saying? I'm getting a Sicilian as black, where I got pawns on E6 to B5.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
think you're
grubber, but
taking a before
very
but
good.
I think E5 very nicely.
Well, I'm not even 100% sure about this. If your knight was on E5, you know what's about to happen. You're about
A
to go
bishop on
knight takes
A2
F7, and you're,
gonna
yeah,
become
bishop
alive.
on A2 is, I do, unfortunately for you, have this move, which is keeping you honest, right? But, okay, those are the contours of what the players could be facing here after the move Queen E2. And I don't see a better move than Queen E7, but I don't know. I mean, some people, don't ask me why, some people do like playing moves like Knight E4 here and keeping that bishop open. Like you said, if there's one drawback,
Yeah, it's the pawn on H4.
pawn on H4. Maurice, jump right in.
Yes, I'm just checking. Again, let's continue our walk with the players through their incredible tournament where they had some dominant victories and then some dodgy moments in their matches. And this one that I have pulled up right here is Alice Lee playing against Zoe Tang. Again, this is now the second match of the event. And Alice had this moment right here, and we all were in awe of the moment as she had this opportunity after her opponent made this mistake. She should have played bishop to f8. Instead, she moved her queen to d7. You see the eval bar go crazy there. And why? Because of this very saucy move. We like moves like that one. Knight to c6, discovering an attack by the bishop on the knight, also hitting a rook and a bishop, but putting it on a protected square protected by a pawn at that. Knights don't belong on squares like that. Well, when you play spectacular moves like this, indeed they do. And this just gave her a monster pass pawn. On c6. Clip, thank you very much. I got an extra pawn, and your position is not going to last very long. She continued playing some very fine moves, trading off a pair of bishops, and then very soon chasing black's pieces back. More trades, thank you very much. Let's trade some more, and now let's get our pawn back. But now I'm going to take your rook on the back rank and force your opponent's resignation. Fantastic game, beautiful game, fluid game. Lady's a boss. Well, she did have to survive. Another harem scarum game. The next game, in fact, that she played against Zoe, and it was this game right here where back in this position, she made the mistake in this position of playing the move rook to b8 in the match, and all Zoe had to do, if she had not been in time pressure, which she had 4 minutes on the clock, if she had only spotted the move rook to b5 instead of the move she played king to e3, this would have been major trouble for Alice. This move forcing the trade of rooks, but you trade rooks in this position, and guess what? These two passed pawns are too much to handle. You got to deal with this monster who's racing up the board. You'd have to come back very quickly and then dodge back here. And this position we'll just go start collecting pawns. Thank you very much. Munch, munch. And that's the game. So she dodged a bullet in this game. Instead, her opponent played this move, king to e3, and gave her that second fighting chance. And she was able to slip by in this match. Again, when you win, people don't want to hear about the past, whatever. But it's not always that you win clean in chess. Sometimes it pays to have a little bit of luck.
Thank you, Maurice. I think actually in order to win any tournament, you need to have luck on your side, at least in one game. Usually it's more than once.
Yeah, and luck can come in all kinds of forms. For example, one which is great luck is you've prepared yourself for a particular opponent. Nobody goes down that preparation. And then you come to a tournament, you haven't prepared this line for your opponent, but you get to use a piece of preparation that you prepare, and they walk right into it, and it's sort of like good fortune, right?
Yes.
You get the right colors at the right time, et cetera, et cetera. But I agree wholeheartedly. The margins between these players are so slim, you need a little luck. Right now, I've got to say, Wesley's getting all the luck, and he's got just simply an ideal position against Levon Aronian in a position. All he needs is to draw this game, and he's doing it, in my opinion, from a position of strength. I like Wesley's position. There was a trade on d4. He's just kind of, his last move was rook to c6, intimating, hey, I'm gonna kind of press you here.
At this point, White's almost forgetting about f4 because there's no time for that. Wesley can play rook a8 and start playing on the queen side.
Rook a8, rook a2. Yeah, exactly. Do you think this is the time that Wesley, well, okay, I'm not 100% sure that the rook belongs on the square c3, but imagining rook c3, queen c5 is my intention.
That looks great too. I just wanted to include the d8
Please.
rook because it's not
So
participating
you like
right
rook
now.
a8?
I would start with rook a8, and if you go rook a1, then
Which
I'll
I-
double on a6. I'm happy to trade any amount of pieces.
This one?
Again, Wesley only needs a draw. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't
And
play
he's done it. Rook a8 is on the board.
yeah, if you don't play f2, f4, 10 moves earlier,
Yeah.
you
What
know,
is
by the
White playing
time
for?
by the time you get it in, it will have no impact, because the whole idea of f4 was to break the center and
And
attack and
attack.
attack.
You
And
don't
there's
have
no
pieces left. Who are you going to attack with?
See, that's the problem in the king and pawn end game. There is no attack. Rook a8, and you're happy to trade a pair of rooks
Feeling pretty good about guessing Wesley's moves.
because they're
He's
just
been
so
playing
natural.
such good chess. Earlier he said that Wesley's getting all the luck, but today I think so far he didn't need any luck. He's just
No.
equalized out of the opening very easily and has made all the best moves.
Yeah, his repertoire is rock solid. E4, E5. He's made chessable courses for amateur players on the, really how to play. And look at this. When I see the move Rook C1, I instantly understand. He's given up on F4.
Absolutely given up, yeah.
And he's now
Looking
looking,
for C3.
so, which, by the way, has its drawbacks because
Creating a backward pawn on D3.
right, as well as backward pawn on B3, and kind of just asking.
Is that really beneficial?
Yeah, who is benefiting from that type of a break? I'm not especially happy with the knight on H5, but it's all going Wesley's way so far. Maurice, jump in, please.
It definitely is going Wesley's way in that position. That seemed like much for him to do there. Levon, I'm speaking about. And if you were thinking White was playing for a draw, then you'd probably be getting it right because the position suggests that. But I want to jump back now again in time to this moment. Another match, Carissa versus Tatev Abrahamian. And this we're looking at right now is nice, quiet, solid. This game they played was insane. Just absolutely sick. And she found the only move that Carissa with the white pieces to maintain her advantage. And it was a great one. The move C2 to C4. And now her opponent decided, you know what? I think I'm going to sack a piece because I think I'm going to get it back. Right now, what do you do to defend your bishop? If you play the move c6, well, that's even losing according to the engine after this nice move. c3, queen takes, and now queen a6 check. Where are you going to hide this king stuck in the middle of the board? You're in big trouble here. And if you play king to d2, we're going to snap this pawn off, and that bishop on d7 has got trouble. Beautiful variation, except for one line. After bishop takes d7, rook over, I get my piece back. You can have that piece back. A brilliant retreating move, bishop to e1, and now it's all about your knight on b4 that your rook just left behind. And that was a fantastic response. She ended up winning this piece. Now you'd say, well, the game's over. She's up a piece. Not so fast. Her king is stuck in the middle of the board, and you're going to see some wild things transpire as Tatev was able to get her rook down the board, and then another rook sniffing in the position. Give me that pawn with check, and it got insane here as both sides were suffering. I should go back to this moment right here where Tatev had her chance to draw this game with the move g3 check. This is not a pawn you want to see stay on the board. Don't play something like king h3 trying to hide. Queen e7 will show up at your doorstep, and suddenly you're losing because the queen is coming to h4 with mate. So g3 check, king takes, and now rook g4 check. And where's the king supposed to hide? If you play king to h2, then queen c6. This pawn is hanging. The threats are mounting. You can defend from this side, but suddenly another check. Too many checks, too many problems. King here, another check. For example, this would have saved the game for Tatev, but instead of playing that move, she played queen takes c6 and allowed her opponent to fix her king side and end up winning the game. Was Carissa. The next game had its weird points as well, but Carissa was able to draw that game and clinch the match and move on.
Thank you so much, Maurice, for that reminder. That was a crazy game against Tatev.
Yeah, going down that memory lane, it's just amazing. So the chances and what got missed.
Yeah.
That G3, you're a piece down. And suddenly Tatev missed a
It's the
chance.
butterfly effect, right? The one move different, and then we would have completely different players in the grand
Ray
finals.
Robson had played
Yeah.
these, if only, yeah. It's like that. Just checking in on the game of Levon and Wesley after the move rook c1. Interestingly, for me, if I've got this right, Wesley has not.
He hasn't made a move.
Answered.
He's taking his time after rook c1 because I guess he's considering is c3 really something he should avoid and not allow or
Right.
welcome it?
Yeah, sometimes you're in those situations, your opponent just made a move, and you think to yourself, I want to see you make that move. So how can I make a move that encourages you to play the move c2, c3? If I play c5, I find that move it will discourage c3. If I play rook, should I stop you from playing c3 by playing rook a2? And I think that Wesley is having those considerations. For me, I'm sitting there saying, well, you know what I'd really like is my knight to actually, the black knight on h5 to be on a better square. I find the square e6 very attractive. So I find myself drawn to knight g7. And should you play, I'm not saying it, see, let's have a look-see at this position.
Yeah, I don't see how white improves their position here at all.
Because if you take, you've got a rook. We both have good rooks, but eventually I'm going to play queen d6, knight e6, and I'm thinking I have an advantage as black because I have more space. By the way, if your knight moves, I'm also eyeballing an opportunity
But yes,
for
I have this
queen
question
b4.
for you.
Please.
So Wesley's in this situation. He only needs a draw, and in the current position, he couldn't ask for a better situation, right? It's
Right.
so equal. He has nothing to worry about. Would you get nervous because you're this close to winning the American Cup for the first time?
Exactly as you described it, I had an embarrassing moment at the U.S. Championships. Yeah, you just kind of presented me with the stage, and there I was playing against Alexander Shabalov, and not only was I in a good position,